Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Tessa Anderstrom. I own a handmade shop called Studio Jane and I love crafting, especially during the holiday season. I'm so excited to be joining you today to walk you through all the steps to make an adorable ribbon wreath ornament. It's full of color and personality, it's going to make a great gift and look beautiful on your tree. I'm excited to make merry with all of you with this fun craft activity. Let's get started. To make your wreath ornament, I'll be using some craft supplies from my Kid-Made Modern Arts and Crafts Supply Library, but these are supplies you can gather around your house. You'll need an assortment of ribbon colors, or you can use construction paper, cardboard, or even cut down toilet paper rolls. We'll be using embroidery thread or some kind of string, scissors, a sewing needle, and a hot glue gun or white craft glue. Lastly, if you want to decorate your wreath, you'll need felt, sequins, or beads. Feel free to get creative. Once you've gathered all of your supplies, we're going to go ahead and start making our ribbon wreath ornament. So step one is to cut down all of our ribbon or whatever materials you may be using to make your ornament. So we're just going to want to make sure that all of our materials we're using are about the same size. So not only the same width, but we're going to cut them down to the same length. So I'm using this smaller ribbon as sort of my scale. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut it into about 1.5 inch, 2 inch pieces. And then I have some larger pieces of ribbon here as well that I'm going to use, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them down the middle first. So if you're using different materials or if you have a lot of different ribbon scraps that you found around the house, then you can easily cut anything down to the right size. Ribbon, you're going to want to make sure you have a good amount of ribbon in order to make this ornament. So just keep cutting and then we'll move on to step 2. So we're going to take our embroidery thread here and we're going to cut a little piece of it off, just about 1.5 feet or so. And again, if you're using other materials you may have found around the house, you can use twine or yarn, a thinner piece of thread, anything that you can string beads on will work. So we're going to go ahead and take our embroidery thread and our needle, and we're going to push our embroidery thread right through the eye of that needle, pull it down a couple of inches, and then we're going to pull the other side of the thread here. So we have our tail now, and we're going to make a knot, but you're going to make a knot about a couple inches in from the tail. So you want to make sure that you have about 2 to 3 inches left over on the end. And that's going to be how we're going to wrap it together at the end and create this hanger at the top. So we're just going to double knot this. So once you have your thread ready to go, we're going to start assembling. So all you're going to do is take each of these pieces of ribbon, fold them in half, and then right through the middle, you're going to pull your needle through and just pull this down to where your knot is. And you can do it in any pattern you want. So I chose to do more of a rainbow pattern, so I'm just picking a different color than the one next to it. So we're going to keep stringing. Okay, so once you have about 6 to 8 inches of your threaded ribbon, you're going to make it into a wreath. So we're going to take both ends here. You can go ahead and take your needle off, and I'm going to take both ends of my thread and tie them into a knot at the top. So this tight, and as you can see, you pull it tight, it makes it into a perfect circle. And then we're going to double knot it there. So we're just going to pull both of your ends together. You can see both here together, and you're going to make one knot. So I'm going to wrap it around my finger, and then I'm going to pull both of those pieces through and make a perfect little knot at the top. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the excess thread. In our example, we cut tiny ornament shapes out of felt. You can also use beads or sequins to decorate your wreath. For this one, since we already have one with felt shapes, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue on some sequins. And this is how you would go ahead and attach any ornaments or decorations that you wanted to. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my hot glue gun here and my wreath. And I'm just going to, on the back of a sequin, put a little dot of hot glue and then push that right on top of my wreath here. And I think that's about all the decorations that I want on my wreath. So now we have a fun glittery sequin wreath ornament as well. And as you can see, there are countless options and ideas that you can do to make these wreaths really your own. They can be great gifts or just to decorate your own tree this holiday season. So thank you so much for joining me and crafting with me today, and I hope you have a happy holiday.